Hello and welcome. My name is Parveen Smith. I am Soul to Soul Wellbeing. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about who I am. So I am a mother of 3 children and a grandmother of 3. And I made it. I made it. And I'm here to share you how to live an abundant life. So my story goes back. I'm born in the UK. I live in Cheshire with my wonderful husband, my wonderful family around me. And life was really tough growing up in the 70s and 80s here in the UK. My mother was a single parent and she was bringing us all up. And life was tough. Life was not easy, I've got to say. And I can say the UK is fantastic, but I think there's a level of the challenges and struggles that we go through that can affect us from day to day at any point in our life. And those challenges can have an impact on our lives of what's happening to us then, but also the impact can affect us later on in our years. So I had a few challenges, I've got to say, growing up, and it feels like it was like 10 years worth of challenges all in a very short space of time. But during these times, I've got to say, I was feeling I had to have this strength, almost like, when you think about you, you feel as if there's something greater in the world that we live in. What is this? Is there another ability that we have innate within us? Is it something that we can tap into and find this greatness from within to support us through day-to-day challenges and life itself? For me, for sure, I can say the struggles were great, but I knew somehow I would get through it. And the bigger the challenges, the bigger the trust I needed. But I had that trust I would get over these challenges, the obstacles. Now, everybody has them. I'm sure you will agree with me. Everybody has challenges, but it depends what degree of challenge it was at that time. So growing up, I went through so many different things. My sister who died at the age of 19, 20, and I was her younger sister, 1 year younger than her. And that was one of the biggest blows in life. How do I get over this? How do I recover? So we started looking at how we could recover from this. It didn't make an impact straight away on me. It made an impact later on in my years. So I'm going to share that with you. So the impact it had on me was so, so great that I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with stress. And this stress and anxiety was with me for many, many years. Many visits later to the doctors, backwards and forwards. I didn't know what anxiety was. I was too young. And it's only in the last 5 years or so I can say I've understood it better and better and better. As anxiety is a big thing in our world with all the world changes that we experience from country to country, lifestyle to lifestyle, and different challenges in life. So as I was growing up, I've got to say, I had further challenges yet to come. I had my first disability and I was only in my 20s. Okay. And that disability was after having my third child. And it was something that not many people may know of, but it was called SPD, a split pelvis through childbirth. Now, I was absolutely debilitated through that condition. And giving birth to my third child was almost on a different level again. How do I get through this? And I was bedbound. I was bedridden. I used to have doctors come in to give me morphine injections quite regularly. I couldn't walk. The doctors gave me 50 chance of ever walking again. I did. 4.5 years later, had some sort of recovery. But I was told this area of my body would be the weakness for many years to come. Then, not so long after that, we were looking for another house to live in. We moved from one city to another. And in my current home now, been here over 20 years, I became disabled for the second time. This time, it was breathing difficulties, almost like the pandemic. That's what it reminded me of, just of the recent years. And I couldn't breathe and talk and speak at the same time, had severe lung problems. I then became disabled again for the second time. And this time it was for 2 years. And even my lung specialist said to me, you're going to be disabled for a long time. And try not to run up that hill. Take it steady. I couldn't walk at that time anyway. I couldn't breathe. I was in such a really bad state, I've got to say. I felt as if I'd aged 90 years. That's how it felt to me. So again, once again, my family became my carers. My family were there for me, trying to support me. I had some great, phenomenal experiences, which I talk about in my 2 books. Now, these experiences, not everybody would actually accept or believe, but it really did happen to me. All I can say is it really happened. My life started to change. I decided that I was going to start to work 1 hour a week, and that's what I did in my recovery stages. 1 hour a week, then it came to 8 hours a week and so forth. And I found something. I had to have faith and trust that I could recover from my health condition. An immense amount of positivity was needed for sure. I then decided I've got to take this further. Something happened to me and I needed to share this with the world. As I started to have my own recovery, many people started asking, how are you? What are you doing? And what's happening in your life now? And one by one, and crowds by crowds, people wanted to hear my stories. And people started gathering, and I started training people in what I knew. So 2 years it took me to recovery. Lots of faith, trust, positivity, and I trained in a therapy that would help me. Now this therapy is called AOT. Now, if I could just share with you, how can one be almost, I'm going to say at death's door, which I was, thinking, could I ever recover from this condition the second time round? Lots of things had gone through my mind. I had to almost project myself into the future and see myself as healthy and well. So I said that to myself for 2 years consistently, almost like having to tell my mind, my brain, I am recovered now. And 2 years to the month, I recovered, which was miraculous because I had no pain in the body again, ever like that again. I could walk, I could talk, I could eat because I had lost a lot of weight through that as well. And slowly but surely, I regained the strength to work again. I was a mentor and I worked in schools, and that was over 20 years ago. And now my job was to see how I could actually help other people. And this is my journey. Ever since my recovery now, I have been helping people. So, how did I recover? Lots of faith, lots of trust, and lots of guidance of, I can do it. So I trained in many different things, many different types of therapies. One, it was really for me to recover. I needed it for me before I could take it out into the world. And that's what I did. I recovered. My family were quite amazed. All the phenomenal experiences, how my health had taken amazing upturn to not being sad, anxious, depressed, low mood, no more stuck feelings. I was just so joyous, even during that condition, that I just trusted and knew I will recover from this. I was never the sort of person that could sit still. I never was the sort of person that would want anybody to wait on me. I was always the doer, and hence I'm the doer now. Now, you can choose, and I believe we can choose, to either remain stuck or do something about ourselves and have an abundant life. So I'm not even giving you even a glimpse, actually, of all the challenges that have happened to me. And I'm 53 years old now. I love my grandchildren. I spend a lot of time with them. But at the same time, I love helping people. So I'm going to share with you that I lost 6.5 years of my life being disabled, not being able to do anything. I needed to get my time back. How? One, I've got to say, have lots of faith and trust in you and your abilities. There is something much more greater than ourselves out there. And universally, I trusted something greater than just me, myself. And maybe I tapped into some awareness and maybe had more power of that awareness of what could actually help me to recover so that I could, in the end, help other people. I always used to say at that time, my mission and purpose is much greater. My mission has not been completed yet. I must be alive and I must be here to help others. So, what do we need to do to gain our strength? I've got to say, the universe had my back. You've got to learn for sure to have faith and trust in you. You've got to go into a space and relax, meditate, breathe, trust, and be true to you. If we cannot be true to ourselves and what we believe in, we will never make it to where we want to be at. I hope that makes sense. Another sort of time that I'd like to share with you here is that invest in you, your time, invest in you and your well-being. Nothing in this world really is free as free, if we like to say, but if we invest in us, we will have the greatest outcomes in life. I've always believed we all need a teacher, a guide, a coach, or a mentor, whichever way you look at this. And this is what I am specialized in. I help people in many parts of the world. I've been teaching on health and well-being in many countries for the last 18 years. And my feeling was I want to bridge the gap between science and spirituality and how we can look after our health in an amazing way. So, as much as the medical sector has their work to do, I feel mentally, emotionally, physically, and looking at it on a major level, we have to have every aspect of us in balance. I've learnt this, and maybe I learnt it the hard way. Maybe you can see it in a different light, but I know there's much more to life than what we see as the tangible. But remember, you are important. Put the life force energy into you. See your greater self. See the awareness of how much strength and ability you have within you to get through anxieties, stresses, disharmony. Our mental emotional states can be out of balance. How can we bring that back? Now, for the first part, we can think consciously, yes, fresh air, drink more water. Are we eating the right food sources? Are we getting enough vitamins and minerals into our body system? Are we drinking enough water? Are we taking exercise? They're just the basics, in fact. Okay, now the way I work with people is to help them to transform and change their life. And AOT is one of the most amazing things that can transform your ill body into an amazing body, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So it's the therapy, it's for your body system. And all of my clients that come to me feel so much better with the different techniques that I use within that. We've got to look at the building blocks to get our bodies healthy and well again, out of illness and disease. Then we're looking at my programs to help people. Wings of Change is one of them, which is an amazing, amazing teaching ability to show you how the world really works. I've had that glimpse and I know how it works. And again, do we want to live a happy, abundant life? Yes, there's lots in that program. There's lots in the anxiety, stress management program that I take people through. It will change your life. I have had people who have had 52 years of anxiety in their body systems. I have had RAF pilots who were in war and did not know how to get rid of their anxieties that they carried for years. I've helped school teachers, nurses, therapists, all sorts of people who want to have a better, abundant life. Now, of course, we can go through that in the training programs because that's how we learn and change and adapt and transform our lives. But if I can just give you a glimpse, again, we've got to heal from the inside out. We've got to mend ourselves and fix ourselves from the inside out to have the most amazing, abundant, great life. So many of you may have heard about the 7 chakra system, with 7 energy centers within our body system. So it goes back thousands of years, this information on its own. But all of the techniques that we use here are ancient techniques, but here for the modern day world. Nobody wants to be ill. Nobody wants to be stuck in their bodies of, low mood, anxiety, stress, depression, and so many other things. I have helped so many people over the years, but we've got to look at betterment for our long life. Now, people sometimes say to me, You don't look 53 years old because I have so much energy. My whole life is transformed. And this is what AOT and this is what my training programs do to support you. So that's a little bit about me and what I do and how I changed my life and how I've changed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's lives. And I mentor people all over the world. Thank you for listening to me. I hope this helps. Live your rich, abundant life now. Tomorrow is too late. My name is Parveen Smith. I am Soul to Soul Wellbeing. You can contact me through my website. Thank you.